and welcome. Can it be? It's another Wednesday. We started this venture March of 2020 and now it's May of 2021. What is happening? What is happening in your world? And this week I feel like a little, I don't know, not balanced. Maybe that's is the word to use. It's so much going on. And then I posted my podcasts and I felt like I was a week ahead of the schedule. And I was looking, where are my podcasts for this week? Oh my God, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. And I try to be always ahead of schedule. When I work on a project, I always make sure that I am ahead of schedule so others don't have to rush or work at the 11th hour. And now I missed out on a week. How can this be? Am I living in the future? I don't know. This was so interesting for me. Oh well, I think this can happen. And I just want to say, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm the first one to say everything has to be perfect. I like to be a perfectionist, though it's not always possible. And then what do? Control what you can control and be okay with what is happening. It doesn't always have to be 100%. I can make mistakes. I have to live with it. And it wasn't the end of the world. So we have 2 great episodes actually this week. So in the month of March, I said I would do 3 episodes with only women, but now it's May. There's also other stuff happening. I can only do 2 episodes, except maybe in a few weeks we have another episode in Swiss German. So I can make an exception. Again, that's what it is. Do what you can and do the best that you can. So the first episode was with Dina Solonga from the Philippines. Again, we're traveling to Asia. We're going into a new culture and we can learn so much from her. She's been an IT person. She became a yogi, and then a yoga teacher. And also then now she has her own yoga studio. She's looking for opportunities, how to make something better, how to learn. It's just amazing. I don't want to say everything. Listen to this episode and we will have a second opportunity to listen more to her life, where she is now in the ashram in the Philippines. It's about maybe going back to nature, some changes that resulted out of the pandemic. And today, a very good episode with Augusto. He's from Brazil, but he lives in the UK. And he works in a school. The school is 100 years old. And it has a very cool concept. So it's an independent school. And it's a boarding school. And actually the students are learning how to negotiate. And they can pick the subjects they want to learn. I think this is a very cool concept. I wish I could have gone to a school like this, where you learn, where you focus more on life skills rather than on maybe math. That's not so useful for me at the moment. With the smartphone, you can find everything and anything. Though he says, with an example, somebody wants to go into the police force in the UK, you still have to take a test. So it doesn't mean that you can just go and sing and dance. No, you need to have the basic understanding of the schooling. So it is a boarding school where children from around the world are coming. They're there for probably the whole school year and beyond a little bit, but they learn how to negotiate. They learn how to probably make their own schedule. And then I asked the question, what about the smartphones? We know the kids like the smartphones all the time. And he says, well, after 3 or 5 o'clock, it's okay, because we can also learn with the smartphone. So the school is adapting. We all have to adapt. And today I was talking to somebody And I said, like, we have to adapt if we want or not. And if you don't, it's even harder for yourself. So why don't you adapt to the new normal, to the new reality? And it's much easier on you. When you think about change, change is happening no matter what. And with my example of making a mistake, not preparing my podcast on time, I learned also how to use the technology differently. I learned a few more details that I didn't know. So sometimes it's good to use technology a little differently and not get stressed out. Like, yes, I made a mistake. The podcast didn't come out at midnight Eastern time, but so what? They came out 6 or 7 hours later. They're still here. It's about showing the consistency, being okay, and accepting the mistakes that I make. I can only speak for myself. I want to make sure that when I do those work from home, from the Lipstick Leadership living room, it's about what I encounter. And I always say, I'm the first one to say, if it does not work for you, what I'm saying, please don't do what I say. It's really about what is working for you, what makes you happy, and what can get you to the next level. I might be an inspiration, a motivational person for you to maybe trigger something, but it doesn't mean that you have to do exactly what I'm doing. This would be the wrong thing. Remember the book, Steal Like an Artist? You can steal from others, but then add your personal element into whatever you're producing. So steal like an artist. There's a lot of stuff out there already. You do not have to recreate the wheel all the time, but learn from mistakes that have been made. Read what mistakes have been made and then make them better. That's what I would like to see in the world. So again, today is like learning from the mistakes. What mistakes can we make? We can learn from the mistakes, but then don't make them over and over again. This is not what we anticipate. So from the Lipstick Leadership living room to your living room with some inspirational talk to check in with you if you have set up your good routine. And I actually posted on the Facebook, I saw an article on creating a routine, eating healthy, checking in with others. What did I say last March, April? Creating a routine. So now, finally, I see some research coming up. It's about creating that routine. And probably when we have a good routine, we make fewer mistakes. How is it working from home for you? It's almost the new normal, working from home. I know for some it's much easier when you have a special place where you have an office. If you don't have an office, it might be a little more challenging. And it's okay to say it is challenging. Though venting is not good. Research has shown that when you're venting, it creates like more anger, more frustration, and that's not good for your psyche. So yes, it's okay to vent for 2 minutes, but then stop. You can also set the alarm for, okay, today I can vent for 5 minutes, and then focus on something positive. Go outside if you can. Maybe, if it's possible, meet up with somebody, wear the mask, go for a walk, go for a run, do something together. It's important that we are getting back to a normalcy, and again, that is working for you. So if you make a mistake, own that mistake. Don't take yourself so serious. Control what you can control, and then move on. And don't, I could have, I should have. That does not help, because it's done, it's over. So make the mistake, own it, move on. Many M's, right? Mistakes and move on, to motivate yourself to get to a better place. and listen to my podcast. I don't have too much more for today, but listen to the podcast with Dina and Augusto, a person from the Philippines and a person from Brazil living in the UK. And I both met those people in Asia. Interesting. And actually, I met Augusto in 2009. And what I think is fantastic, with the social media, we were able to stay in contact. And when we went back and did the recordings, I was like, hey, what's happening? What's going on in your world? And it was as nothing was just, it seemed like yesterday. I thought that was so beautiful. So who is one person that you can go back that you met or that you have known for a longer time? Maybe that will be a challenge for you today. Network is important, especially in today's time when we cannot meet a person in person. So maybe just pick up the phone and talk to somebody that you haven't spoken in a longer time. Might also be something. Challenge yourself. Ask a question. And on Friday, there is a blog talking about asking questions. Ask good questions. I have the blog prepared. I just need to go over it. Maybe make it a little more interesting and sophisticated. Add some research to it. I think that's it for today. So Monday, Wednesday is the podcast. Friday is the blog. And I hope you all have June 10 in your calendar, where we have the coffee break with me with the Women Leadership and Beyond, a continuation of our March 9 and 10 conference. There's a lot of talk about it. You go to a conference and then, oof, nothing will happen. No, the Women Leadership and Beyond conference will continue when we have the coffee breaks, and I'll take on the first coffee break. And whoever wants to join, please check on the website. More information will be coming out. You can sign up. I think that's all I have to say about this. But if you need more information, please do not hesitate. Reach out to me. So again, from the Lipstick Leadership living room, with the lipstick to your living room. And be safe. Wear the mask when you are surrounded by people, especially inside. In some locations you don't have to wear the mask anymore when you're outside, but do it for other people. Wear the mask. It's our task to save lives. So I wish you a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful rest of the week. Put the lipstick on and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much and be well. Bye-bye.